Bring in Kingslayer in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 190 of the Guardian Up podcast, where we talk Destiny, interview guests, and talk about our love of the game. 190 inching closer to 200. Uh-oh. Is that when we stop? Or 200's not bad, right? 200 episodes? We're getting there?
Yeah, we're getting up there in age.
Like a fine wine?
I guess. I would assume we're getting better with age.
I saw. Oh, and by the way, we have Kato tonight, and of course me, Sin, and Dez. Welcome, Kato. You're here to talk some initial impressions.
Yeah.
But I saw that what's his name from Destiny Down Under is kind of saying that he's toning back on the podcast or going to stop it. Long Power Slice. Yeah. Yep, I saw that on Twitter yesterday. He wrote that. So basically, he still loves the game, but he's a little burnt out of it right now, and he feels like no point doing the podcast if he's not playing the game. But he will be around and maybe back for Lightfall, which, by the way, a new trailer came out tonight.
Yes, it did. Just before we
right before we started. Yeah. First impressions on that? Did you see it yet, Des? Probably not. It just barely came out.
Yeah, it did not.
I'm going to recommend you take like 2 minutes and go watch it right now.
That was 1 minute 39 seconds, so BRB.
Okay. Fair. So, Kato, what's new? Life? Yeah, what's new in your life? Before we talk Destiny.
Not much. Really. Still the same job. Still doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Any new pictures of your bikes or anything? Any movement there?
It's a bit too cold.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to consider myself a fair weather rider, but I don't do too well in super cold weather. So, and wind chill it's a real thing.
No, that is true. I mean, you're not seeing around here too many people riding during the winter.
No. It's kind of disappointing because it'll be like 20 degrees in the morning, and then by the afternoon it ends up being like the high 50s, and it's like, oh man, I could go ride, or I could not and say we did. But
yeah. Now, do you use a full mask when you ride?
Called a helmet.
Helmet, yes, that. With a full face. You don't wear full facial?
No. I don't even wear a helmet.
What the hell are you talking about? Like one of those breathing things? Like, what's his name from Batman?
It's
full
some
face,
people
like
have
breathing
like
apparatus.
Just like skull, like the top of the head, and then there's like full on helmet.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. That's just for display.
The helmet's just for display.
No, the skull thing.
Yes, it's no. That's a skull cap. That's what Sin is thinking of there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's no.
And you have your breathing apparatus too, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Oxygen tube on the back.
I'm so dumbfounded right now. I can't.
We can move on past that if you'd like.
Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Gadasai.
Yeah. Welcome everyone in the chat, by the way. Glad to have you here. We are just going to talk about our first impressions in the new season, of course, and wait for Des to come back if you watched the trailer.
The crap is that?
Which part?
The Rogue-looking guy.
Oh, yeah, that? I don't know. But did you see the fact that you could tether another Guardian?
Yeah. No, yeah, a lot of that trailer is just like basically strand fluff, and I'm all down for it. It looks fantastic.
There was like 10 billion stranded cabal, just all like, or we can't do anything. Yeah.
Right, not only what looks like some kind of a Scorpion get over here mechanic for somebody, which is fantastic, as well as all kinds of. It almost seems like a momentum-based traversal, which is going to be fun
Love it.
if they can pull it off.
I am all for, catching a ride on a Thunder Crash.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's basically like Spider-Man's web slinging. It kind of, because like I said, somebody actually looks like they swing around. In fact, the tied up cabal, it's like they swing around at an angle, which is interesting. Yeah, and then let some rogue-looking guy with a glaive, by the way, and what looks like tentacles coming out of his head, maybe, or back. I don't know. But yeah,
the weird darkness tree thing growing out of him.
Potentially. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I'm actually kind of surprised by the Rolk-esque figure. I actually can't wait to find out who that is because I was not anticipating him.
Yeah. Well, they did
Or
say that Callus was going to have darkness guardians, or not guardian, darkness like champions, but that the word wasn't champion. That I thought their model was based on this Rolkish looking character, but I don't know if this is like a boss or just a model of one of those new enemies.
It would be interesting because
am I just making that up? I thought I heard that.
I feel like you're making that up.
What?
Okay. No, I do think they said something about there were going to be like a new type of enemy like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Callus working with the darkness, and they were like this new model of enemy, and they were like special champions, but they didn't use the word champion. But like, it's like once you run into them, watch out. Like they're like the most powerful thing. So
yeah, it's like
the ones that block our abilities from the light. Do they call them Reapers? Was it Reapers?
Maybe.
That'd actually be interesting, but no. It also reminds me of when they implemented the Alakul model like everywhere after he was a fairly popular thing. There were all kinds of like light blade high models with giant axes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still not as terrifying as the ones in the Haunted Forest.
Still not as terrifying as Alakul the first time.
Exactly. Kato, you got to play D1 with us. You're in a dark pit and can't see anything except for the glow of a exploding thrall right behind your back.
Yeah.
And an axe that swings at you. If you're lucky, you avoid it.
And anyone that's played Fresh, what was Dark Below, gained a healthy fear of exploding thrall.
Well, let me tell you, we were doing the new activity tonight, and we'll talk more about this later too, but boy, there's some chunky exploder thralls in that activity that I was hitting them several times. I'm like, they are not going down. And then Kato even noticed like one exploded, and it didn't even explode his buddies because they were that powerful.
Wow. No chain reaction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of terrifying, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that heist is a lot of fun. I guess let's get into things. But yeah, that was cool to talk about the Lightfall trailer that just came out right before our recording. So I figured we would, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, it's fair. Like I said, I didn't even notice it, but yeah.
I guess
also warning, it's probably like 80% fluff.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Which it's fair. It's still a fantastic trailer, but yeah, a lot of it is. It just seems like more of a Strand built-up trailer than anything.
Yeah,
a big hype machine. Yep.
Yeah.
What was it? Some games event tonight.
Game Awards, I think.
Game Awards.
Oh, the Game
yeah.
Awards is tonight. Huh. I completely forgot about that.
Well,
Not much.
yeah, we were playing the game. I feel like other times the Game Awards were during the day, or they usually at night. Also, I don't know.
No, I think it's a nighttime thing.
Okay.
I don't know for certain because the only other time I've paid attention to the Game Awards was when Ed Boon had actually announced Mortal Kombat 11 like 3 years ago now. Holy crap! But yeah, that was a very interesting moment.
Yeah.
Considering the head dev of a fighting game for many years came out to announce a racing like game of the year, and it's like, what? And that's when they aired the video, and it was fantastic. But yeah, anyway, moving on.
Well, I can't forget, we have a review I need to read tonight of the podcast. We have questions for the show. We have
That's
new
fantastic.
stuff to talk about.
A lot.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, before we get too much into Destiny, did anybody watch Wednesday?
No.
No, other than everything I see on TikTok, so I feel
I
like I
know.
watched it.
That's one reason why I wanted to watch it, but it's actually a really good season.
So you recommend? Okay, I'll put it on my list.
Would recommend.
I mean, because what? It's Tim Burton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his entire like everything is just like a perfect fit for. Like you said, Wednesday. Yeah. Because she's like going to that academy for something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's called Nevermore. You'll
Yeah.
learn about it inside the season, but it is the academy for like werewolves and sirens and
Yeah.
all kinds of like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
The two things that interested me about that series was the fact that A, it was done by Tim Burton, and B, Christina Ricci actually has a role in it,
Yeah.
which is fantastic because she was Wednesday, for
Yeah.
all the '90s kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll definitely check it out soon. I've just been watching some other things. Of course, there's plenty of things to watch and do, including some new Destiny stuff. We have season 19 upon us. Season
19.
What's it called?
Seraph.
Seraph.
Yeah, I know.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something what? But yeah,
Sounds like a marriage with a game.
all right.
And let me tell you, there is a lot of blend, which I think is quite interesting, of a cast of characters from all over, including aspects. You're wondering, Des, about how Ziva Roth being added into this. I mean, it's just a very minor, so far anyways, very minor. Well, kind of. We run into Ziva Roth's eye as one of the bosses. But anyways, there's all sorts of stuff going on. There's Warmind stuff. There's Ziva Roth with Wrathborn stuff. There's Osiris and Clovis Bray bickering back and forth, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I'll
Some of the
definitely have
best
to put me in
lines.
because I saw the initial cutscene of the season, which of course made me ask, why has Osiris gone absolutely nuts? But of course, Darkness T. So
Yeah.
You didn't get enough action.
I guess. But yeah, that's man wakes up and the first thing, go talk to Clovis. What?
Yeah. And of course, Elsie's there, and just the whole cast, and there's even a freaky puppet Exo model that's in the helm that I keep mentioning. You walk up to it and it goes like pops down like some Halloween thing. I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy.
It's Rasputin. Or
I
at least what will
know.
be.
Yes, but it's like a half exo frame so far with like a cape and the way the model comes down on like this arm that's connected to its back is just all puppety looking. It's all freaky looking.
I'm just glad I kind of called that. Which, I mean, by called that I meant 30 minutes before it launched, but at least as
Yeah.
much as I could. I saw an EXO glowing red, and it's like, oh, so Rasputin gets his frame now. Nice.
Yep.
Which I mean, isn't anything spectacular. I mean, it had to happen eventually. I mean, good lord, freaking poor Anna vanished off the face of the earth, working on a EXO frame, quote unquote, supposedly right next to Amanda, even though she was never there. Anyway.
Yeah, so chaos is ensuing, and we're killing things, and we have these new activities called the heist battlefields, which is very similar to other 3-person activities, which have a pretty good flow to them. And we were commenting on when you go in the story, they take you through like a baby version first on the moon, but then there's a playlist, and the playlist version. By the way, we've talked, a lot of people have hinted to like, do we just want to remove power leveling, at least as far as you can still have power leveling for XP or bars or whatever, but activities, well, they're kind of doing this behind the scenes, because if you look at the activity, it says 5 above your current power level for this activity. So whether you are a lower power level or a higher power level, the normal version of the Heist Battlegrounds will always be 5 above your power level.
Huh.
And then I assume the
didn't
legend version will be 15 above or something, 20,
Didn't they kind of do the same with the season I last played? Yeah, it was the moon, because no matter what, you were basically like, even if you were under
Yeah.
power, you were actually essentially at power in order to do the activity. Kind of no matter what.
That's
Yeah,
kind
but
of, you're right. It's been
the
there a little
power.
bit. Yeah. And people are kind of wondering, hoping that this will just be what it is. Like maybe even Grandmasters down the road, you can maybe still have some lighter requirement, but the requirement won't be stupid grinding your artifact and pinnacles all the way up to the requirement there.
I mean,
It'll just be the hard level no matter what,
actually, that would be cool.
Yeah.
It's a thought.
That
Yeah.
would be interesting, because it would get rid of, like you said, it would get rid of like a lot of at least the feel of quote unquote necessary grinding in order to do in-game activities.
Yeah, they still need to have number grinds for, if anything,
mean,
like
for sure.
XP bars, maybe other things. But for the actual activities, because other games have done that too, where it's kind of a blend of the two systems, and you were saying like the Diablo stuff.
Paragon. Yeah, we were talking about that the other night. The Paragon leveling and the seasonal model of Diablo, where the Paragon level is really what you grind out every season.
But the activities are just kind of wherever you are on that grind number, it doesn't matter. There, you can get into any activity, and there's just easy, hard, and harder levels no matter what your power is.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to need the Paragon levels for other things. I mean, it's been a hot minute since I've jumped into Diablo.
Same.
But that's basically what it was. It's kind of like our seasonal rank. What it is now is kind of what their Paragon levels are.
You were saying increase the rank so you can access the higher level activities. But you don't. It's different, but I don't know, still be kind of similar.
Okay. Well,
I mean-
it doesn't matter too much yet, but
That is kind of fair, because I mean, as many people say, Borderlands is like the inspiration for Destiny. I mean, Diablo is like the father of all looters. So
Yeah.
true
I
that.
mean, want to talk about loot exploding out of an enemy that you just killed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Diablo 1.
Loot
It was
goblins.
there.
Mm-hmm. Let's have more of that in Destiny. They had that a season or two ago, right? In a small aspect. They called them loot something, and then there was a few things that came out, but
Oh,
1/10 of the amount of what Diablo does.
yeah, that was haunted.
Yeah. Right, in those activities.
Yeah, the weekly story mission.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they kind of did that also in the 25th anniversary stuff with the like special
Oh, yeah.
participants or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I mean, it wasn't really loot. It was more so like extra rep stuff or whatever, predominantly, but still, it exploded out of them when you killed them.
Yeah.
So if you were like me and didn't pay attention half the time, and for a hot second wondered, wait, where's that from? Oh, okay.
So yeah, the new activity, heist battlegrounds, these could potentially, I mean, I know it's a seasonal thing, but it's interesting with the name battleground and everything and the way the flow feels. They're almost like mini strikes. They could potentially go into some playlist that sticks around after, but probably they won't because, we know seasonal stuff's going away at the end of the year, but they're pretty cool so far. I mean, I like it better than the PSYOP one. Initial thoughts, Sin and Kato? I mean, we were talking about seemed pretty good difficulty even on the normal level.
Yeah, I would agree. It's got some difficulty to it. It definitely feels strike-ish. The length of it,
but not so easy like a strike. Yeah.
No, it more of a harder difficulty Nightfall, like a higher level Nightfall almost, especially with the power difference and the champions that are in there, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying them. As we said, once it is recycled content, something borrowed, something a little bit newer with it.
But only partially. There's
good.
like newer stuff that they built. It's like they took and they extended upon it. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, it's the Seraph towers like they were with more at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the bunkers aren't exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah. It's which I mean, I for one, like, of course, I haven't experienced it yet, but anyway, but no, if they're going to like recycle it, I mean, at least at the very least, they are indeed like, building on it. That way, it doesn't seem like an entirely. What's this season for? Big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty cool. I mean, the weekly story so far didn't take too long to get through. Good and bad potentially. Like if we wanted more to do there. Of course, there's other things to grind though. There are the Rasputin music boxes back with the Icarus weapons that we chased down, not on Mars this time, but on the moon and Europa. Resonant stems does. Remember that, Chiz?
It took me, my God, I think it took me forever to find. There was one last one I think I needed, but I never could. I remember looking into it and like, people had like theories, and if you open there's a stem here or whatever, it'll be more likely to lead here, and it's like, okay. That might be.
Oh man, I remember all that too now. Well, luckily these are on a punch-out list for getting them in the first place, but what is the RNG aspect is, of course, the weapons, and more so, guess what about the weapons now? the red bar aspect, the red border.
Craftable, woo!
Mm-hmm. So people are chasing the SMG because what do we want, Kato?
Full shot.
Mm-hmm. And what, Feeding Frenzy or?
Yeah, probably Feeding Frenzy Bullshot.
Yep. So we have to get that weapon, but then we have to get that weapon with the red border because were you saying you looked it up and it was still 5 for being able to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every seasonal weapon, the Icarus and the whatever the other ones are called.
Ooh.
They're all 5. So that's a bit of a
bit
grind.
Much.
But I don't think it'll be too bad, honestly.
Well, yeah, but we can, I guess it may not be too bad because you can get them in that extra chest at the end of the heist activities also, and there are some things in that upgrade thing, of course, at the seasonal vendor to give you more chances, like any season has those things. But if it was really only hunting them down with the music box things, that would be kind of annoying because you got a pool of 4, and then on top of that, you'd have to get the right weapon with red border or not, and then you have to get 5 red borders. So that, to me, seems daunting.
Yeah, that would be a little much, honestly. Especially considering, this activity should be going away when Lightfall comes, so you wouldn't have the rest of the year to get them like we do with the rest of the seasonal weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some
I wonder
early
what
talk.
they are going to do about that, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's some early talk that red borders are dropping a little more often. I haven't seen it myself yet, but maybe. Or maybe with these upgrades we'll get pretty quickly, then they will drop more often that way. We will see. But yeah, good point. If we really want some of these, who knows if they will be attainable at all or not too easily attainable. Or maybe they'll do the thing where they just, well, now that the season's done, they're just in some other pool and almost easier to get.
Potentially. I mean, what if they do something like they did with the Elixir Quarter upgrade? It was dropping red border weapons from this last season. Like, kind of ridiculous how often they were dropping.
Yeah. They could even put it over to the Dares of Eternity, right? That's kind of like the catch-all.
Hope not.
I still need my Forerunner Catalyst.
Yeah, yeah. And people are running that because they buffed that a lot as far as the reputation you get and some weapon things there that are going on. So Dares is popular again.
They needed to do something there, so I think that was a good change.
Yeah.
Actually, I think for a bit of advice, considering the sniper rifle might actually be a good craft chase also. Yeah, close sniper rifle, that is.
Yeah.
Because it is craftable with both fourth time and high impact reserve. So any of the ammo increasing perks and those two are still like really good, like legendary DPS. Just as a
Yeah.
advisory.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the shotgun being OP also back in the day. Right?
That was kind of like the preferred weapon for
Last Wish, for sure.
Shirochi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shirochi. I get Shirochi
Shotgun.
and Kali confused.
What was that perk? Punch and then it shot really fast and
1-2 punch.
Trench barrel.
trench barrel.
Oh.
It was similar, like a 1-2 punch type thing, but trench barrel, yeah.
Yeah, because that was the one, like I said, you
Yeah.
melee and increased your rate of fire, but it worked so good, they had to nerf it to only last for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before
They
it was
gave
nerfed,
that-
yeah, we would all run up and punch, and then all the shotguns are like, boom, 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 like 6 Guardians. Sorry, good.
Didn't they give Trench Barrel to Legend of Acreus not that long ago?
Yes, I do believe. I think they added that to the Catalyst. Maybe?
Yeah. That's what it was. Because I remember trying it in Val just because I can. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not bad.
Well, we have unstoppable hand cannon and grenade launcher, but that's going to be a 7 cost. But it's definitely been interesting so far. I hopped in King's Fall, but you'll see the unstoppables and the heist activities too. But a lot of people kind of forgetting, and even me not remembering how bad it was too. But that 3-second or so scoping that you have to do, kind of annoying.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for
unstoppable hand cannon.
oh yeah. I mean, at least at the very least, there's a very obvious visual cue whenever it actually pops up.
Yes,
Right
that
on
is
the gun
good.
itself.
Mm-hmm. The words now above the super bar also, along with the flash. But yeah, yep. So
I feel like we haven't had unstoppable hand cannon since they released Hawkmoon.
yeah, it's been a hot minute. I remember running it. I remember being in Grandmasters or Masters with Helios specifically, and he was like telling people too, like, you gotta remember to scope in because like no one really knew. It was all kind of new at the point. I mean, we kind of knew, but like no one really was using it a lot, and we didn't realize or forgot or whatever.
So speaking of King's Fall and Unstoppables and Totems.
About time.
Yes, finally am now a Kingslayer. LFG'd over a few nights of the Totems Challenge and spent the first couple times The first night was like hours and couldn't get it. Second night had a LFG group lasted 30 minutes before the poster went off mic, said he didn't have a mic or couldn't be on mic for whatever reason, and that whole team disbanded. I lucked into finding another LFG like shortly after. They only were looking for one. They didn't actually post it as master, but I had messaged them and say, hey, by any chance is this master? And they were doing it. And fortunately, they had their stuff together and they were super chill. I don't remember everybody was in there. I was pulling up raid report and there was quite a few more people in there than what I had played with. But Persia and Brad, two people that were playing together from the same clan, shout out to them, and the rest of the team finally got it. And that went pretty smooth. But yeah, it's that 3-second delay, even on the weapons from last season. When you have three of those unstoppable spawning in master on totems, it can definitely be rough.
Yeah, you got to be on point. I'm glad that's what I experienced too when I was doing LFG on that encounter. Is it took me like 3 to 5 hours myself total, and 3 different LFG groups, kind of, to get it done. And then the group that did get it done, I think we got it done in like 20 minutes. But it's hard because, you want to give groups a try. Like, are we moving forward? But I know I was watching your stream and sometimes people think we're moving forward, but then they don't really realize that we're not. We keep dying within the first or second clip of rotations. Moving forward would mean like after 5 runs, okay, now we're not dying until the 3rd clip of rotation and 4th. But I was watching so many times, and then that silly guy in front of you that would not leave the plate, and then so he would die in timeout. I'm like, come on, you're running master. You got to know to leave the plate.
Right.
To swap the buff.
You got to be flexible in master for sure, and know when to move. You got to have really good situational awareness of what's going on and where your runners are. And
so at some point you got to cut your losses is what I was getting at. I know it's rough because then no one wants to leave, but it can be a big waste of time if just things aren't progressing at all.
It felt like that. I was getting a little. I got it on the Monday night before reset, so that's literally last minute. Finally did it.
Well, that's so mean, Kingslayer, trying to kill me. Sorry, stupid joke. Was it worth it? Do you never want to step in a Master King's Fall again?
I will have no desire to go into a Master unless somebody needs help doing something. I'm never going to go back in. Now, I do need to go back into King's Fall in general, just for touch. And I had done a LFG at Oryx checkpoint earlier, which wasn't awful, because just being normal, and still didn't get it.
Yeah, you haven't gotten it yet, so I'd be surprised if you got it. Not just kidding. Now it's going to be like 100 runs before you get it.
Yeah,
please don't jinx me.
Just because.
What number of clears are you on?
That was number 51.
No, for looted.
So probably less than that. Looted's probably in the 30s.
Whatever. You've pretty much run it every week, but you didn't always run all 3 characters every week, did you?
I did there for a while, and then the last couple of weeks I had not been doing that.
Yeah. And probably even the first week or so, did you really run all 3 in 1 week? But anyways.
I was running 3 in 1 week.
I forget what the total number that anyone can get is, which there are people out there. I saw something on Twitter. There's some guy that's crying that he's done every single lootable since week 1 and still doesn't have it. And I forget what the number was, the total possible, but it happens.
Really, really bad RNG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of my worst for a raid.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
but that
ask.
Yeah.
Has Desperado been craftable before?
As what?
Desperado.
No.
Well, it is now.
Really?
Apparently, it's on Disparity, which, if Light.gg is correct, is a seasonal weapon.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that the the pulse that they give you at the beginning,
It's-
and people have been talking about.
Yeah, it is a Haka Pulse, so it's a 4-round burst, which is automatically very good. I can't remember if they're slightly better or slightly worse than normal aggressives, but it's very close. Yeah, so craftable with options such as Rapid Hit and Outlaw with Desperado. Possible. Also, Enhanced Desperado is nuts. They kind of unnerfed Desperado in the enhanced version.
Fair.
Because Enhanced Desperado is if you reload after a precision kill, it actually increases your fire rate for 6 seconds. Well, I'm sorry. It says it reduces the delay after shooting by 30%, increasing rate of fire for 6 seconds. So yeah.
Well, yeah, it's
That's
an interesting
enhanced.
pulse, and on the PVE side, you know,
Oh,
a lot of us are going to be running
Increased duration. Apology for the enhanced version.
duration.
That
Yeah,
was just Desperado. I'm stupid, but anyway, that's still
No,
very good.
yeah. On the PVE side, a lot of people might be running pulse this season because of anti-barrier. It's a primary slot stasis.
Mhm. Yeah.
Weapon,
Also,
so
also headstone headstone shenanigans because that's there too. It's always fun. Yeah.
So I could be potentially maining this over Messenger, you know, with the Desperado.
I mean, it's like I said, it's very close to Messenger's archetype and kill potential in PvP. It's not exactly there, but it's very very close. Like 4-round bursts are, like I said, I wanted to say they're like just barely under aggressives.
Well, speaking of PvP, did you hop in anything yet, Kato? No worries if not. I forget if we talked about that before the show.
I did some Rift. That's about the sum of it.
How was it?
It's Rift. I mean,
3v3?
no, I haven't done any.
Oh, you haven't done the new stuff yet?
Yeah.
That you haven't done the what's that called? The new ranking thing.
The new competitive.
Yeah.
Not yet. It's on the list.
I did
No worries.
one match and got the Cloud Strike Catalyst. That was about the extent of it.
And guess how many I've done?
None.
Yes. I mean, I'll hop in at some point, but it's at least one or twice this season. I'll probably check out that competitive thing, get that quest out of my inventory, you know, get my low rank and then be done.
Fair. Very fair.
But people were saying they don't like 3v3, especially on some of those big maps. Just Junction.
I mean,
I don't know. We don't have enough input from our local community yet. I know we are looking to have someone on the show soon that does a lot of PvP, and he wanted to give some input. So look forward to hearing from him soonish. Question: who sighs more, Kato or Hazel?
Definitely Kato.
I would say Kato, probably. Well, I don't know. Hazel can sigh a lot on the show when Gator's saying something.
I was gonna say, what's the context here?
Yeah,
Just
but
in
who
general.
who doesn't
Okay.
side with Gator talking?
In general, Kato probably more, but on the podcast, Hazel has a high percentage,
SI ratio.
high sigh ratio.
Yeah.
I think I would. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Sounds legit.
Sounds legit. All right. And, you know, Rodimus asked that question, and then he was also asking our first impressions of the new season, which we pretty much gave, unless there's any other, you know, things we want to mention there. You know, overall, I think it's going to be good enough. I think first impressions this season, I was sneaking suspicion. I mean, we know some things. I mean, we know the dungeon's coming out. We got the exotic hopefully it's a cool quest on the 20th. So even though my week 1 impressions aren't like super high or super low, I have a feeling my impressions of this season overall could be a lot higher. Ask me later on.
Yeah, new dungeon
Yeah.
tomorrow, right?
Yeah. New dungeon. Who dis?
Which I think was pretty much the extent of the swap.
Yeah, pretty much the extent and a lot of the dungeon. Well, not tons of details, but still a fair amount of dungeon things have leaked out. I mean, by the time you all hear this episode, it'll be out anyways. And if you look in the badges too, in game, you get some clues of things, you know, with Tex Mechanica and Vex stuff, and its name also is listed in the game. It's not totally hidden.
Oh, the exotic?
That too. Well, maybe
Oh,
the exotic is
I don't know.
more of an actual leak, but the name of the dungeon, the Spire or something.
Fire the Watcher.
Spire of the Watcher, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where I was trying to cope, saying, hey, it doesn't have to be Vex. Hey, surprise, it's Vex. Dang, Bungie.
I know. I think people were just hoping it was going to be Vex, not that we necessarily had any clues before this last week. And then with some of the stuff, it just started coming together more. So it was just probably coincidental that it all worked out that way. But I'm down for a Vex dungeon. It'll get me a little more motivated going into this. So hopefully we have something that will be a little more interesting than Duality to go back into. Some of us were talking about Duality isn't horrible by any means, but it just feels oppressive sometimes when you're in there. And I got to a point after running it 10 or so times where I was like, kind of like, I'm done.
That's fair.
It just doesn't seem
Yeah.
fun going into. It's just oppressive.
Yeah.
All right.
It's very. I mean, it's Duality.
It's Duality. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I feel
we
like if
have-
there wouldn't have been so many bugs and problems, it maybe wouldn't be as bad.
I don't know. It's still fair. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, well, yeah, there's the bugs. The bugs didn't bug me as much as some people. It's more just the color scheme. Some of the boss mechanics are just annoying. I don't know what it is about it.
I'm actually only one triumph away from getting the seal in that, and that's the solo one. But you know, it kind of feels the same way going in solo.
That was part of it too. I think going in solo once and seeing that it was going to take me like 5 times of DPS to get.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't have the desire for this right now.
Yeah.
We have another show question in our general questions for the show area from Cloud Nebula. He says, since only
How?
joining D2 at the end of Arrivals.
Me
Well,
too.
You too, right?
Yeah, Kato too.
Right? Perfect question then. What would you say is the most important thing to know about the Warmind? As this new season seems to be linking back to some earlier storyline. Appreciate the clarification.
Yes.
You got that, Des? I mean, we can all give comments, but
No, I was about the answer is yes.
yes.
Oh wait, you expect me to elaborate? Gotcha. No, because I thought it was funny. Because there was a similar question in one of the lore channels, asking who the person in white in the trailer was. Which of course, because I think they joined at Beyond Light. But yeah, they weren't super familiar with Anna Bray, so they had no idea what the crap she was doing in the trailer. But now Rasputin is kind of a long story because he's just he's been a figure that's been teased in Destiny since vanilla. Destiny 1, that is. So yeah. We of course didn't really find out the meat and potatoes behind Rasputin until the Warmind DLC. Was it called the Warmind? Was it that simple of a title?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Warmind. So yeah, like a lot of that like real knowledge actually came from there, because until then we were thinking there were actually multiple war mines. But I think it was that DLC that pretty much confirmed the fact that Rasputin is actually in control of the war mine network. But there are like sub functions to Rasputin, because we had names in the past like Charlemagne, a bunch of others that escaped me. But yeah, he's one of our better hopes at, doing things? Question mark? Because so far he's 0-2 when fighting the darkness. So his usefulness is questionable at best. But yeah, it's old lore, because he apparently attacked the Black Fleet during the collapse, found out, oh, I can't do anything against these guys, so I'm just gonna shut down and hibernate for a few centuries. So we wake him up in Warmind, and several years later, the Season of the Worthy, I believe it was, when we actually connected all of the Warmind satellites and such, which of course is the callback too. But anyway, yeah. So that, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a big deal, but he's also a very difficult question to answer. And also, I now regret, because Mylan actually came out with a video saying that apparently the submines are actually explained now, which is fantastic if true. Of course, I don't know why I say if true. It's Mylan, so yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool. I mean, it really should be like this every season, but people need to pay attention to the lines when you're playing the heist battlegrounds. They explain a lot in each one, and so far we have the moon one, and then we see kind of a not exactly a submine bunker that opens up underneath the Bray facility, and everyone's like, what? I didn't know there was one here. And they find out it's actually more of a, what did they call it? It was more of a
like a
server
general
network?
AI.
Network or something.
Yeah. It's like the basis that all the AI are based off of.
Yeah.
Huh.
Below Clovis's big head in the Bray facility on Europa, a new area opens up underneath it. So it's kind of cool that that's in the heist battleground there.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so they
cool.
do a lot of explaining in it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, and then Rasputin, it's always nice whenever, like I said, they take these seasons to actually flesh out some ideas that kind of got a little convoluted along the way. Rasputin is a perfect example, because the best we had was like a theory from Ikora that there were like multiple war mines, but then the war mine DLC is like, nope, just one. Okay, so what about Charlemagne and this, that, and the other? You're saying the word submines, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always good, like I said, whenever they can flesh out and actually, give us lore heads like an inkling of what the crap is going on in the universe.
Yeah. I think story-wise, there's going to be some awesome things looking forward to in this season. Also because, of course, it's leading up to the DLC, the expansion. So there's got to be some big, like, dun-dun-dun, that happens. And then Lightfall.
I don't know. I'm still hoping for like, I don't know. It's gonna be sad if, like, I just hope there's more for Zeburath in this season.
No, I think there will be. I think Zevirath is just causing some havoc, but then it's going to come down to like the other darkness versus, and then Callus versus us or whatever, and the Traveler, and then Zevirath will probably be final shape, I'm guessing. I don't know. Or maybe
but then she's
Zevirath
just
will
gonna
be unknown somewhere in Lightfall.
I mean, true. It's just, I don't know. For some reason, I always feel, the three sisters. I mean, considering how long they've been in the lore.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like two of them have had like entire like DLCs, expansions like based around them.
Yeah.
Orcs with Taken King, Savathun, whatever the crap that was called that's leaving me now.
Our last one?
Wasn't that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jamlet.
the last one. Oh,
Yeah.
Witch Queen. Yeah, it was Witch Queen.
Witch Queen. Yeah, Witch Queen.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think
It's like the only spots she has left are just like these secondary villain spots, and it's just like, fine, I guess. But, you know,
yeah.
I'd rather her be a secondary expansion villain, though, than anything season throwaway.
Yeah, I still have hope for that. I don't, because so far what we're seeing with it, it's even lighter than really. I mean, there's talk about Seraph, but like the Wrathborn stuff that's in these heists is like very light considered to the actual Wrathborn hunts.
Yeah.
So it's almost like right now it's a smaller plot point, and so
Yeah.
there's no way this is going to be it. Like she's gone after this, so that's why I think there's hope too that it's not going to just be this season for Zerath.
I kind of hope. Well, I'm kind of hoping. Like I love Callus and all, but I guess my own hopes are like maybe Sivu comes in as like the surprise main villain of
Yes,
Lightfall.
I would hope that too.
Kind of what I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
because I mean, she doesn't need a lot of build up because we've already kind of built her up as much as she needs. Because I mean, also to be fair, she's like the most basic of the sisters. I mean, she's war and strong. I mean, it's like Kratos pre last God of War game. Yeah, God of War 1 and 2 and 3, which Kratos didn't have a lot of character back then. So yeah, I mean, she's the simplest, sure, but I don't know. But yeah, that's my hope.
I mean,
There's
that would
some-
be a nice twist.
It would, yeah. And
'Cause I feel
there's
like
oh, go
sorry.
ahead. No, my thing's slightly different, but
I feel like Callus as the new disciple and everything is just, I guess, too predictable, just too plain. And
It almost feels rushed to me. I mean, considering how
Yeah.
long some characters have like build up and lead up, it's almost like they shoehorned in Callus just to like probably save the fans or something.
right, yeah, that's where I was going with it. It just seems like it's, oh, this is the easiest option to make work. Here you go, deal with it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I'm there with you.
But we are, even though I mentioned it away, it seems like smaller in the story aspect so far. There's still really interesting things going on. Like, yeah, we see Zuvu Wrath's Eye as a model. We see there's these new mechanics also in these heist battlegrounds where we have something called the Death Tongue Choristers. And it's just an acolyte, but a very special acolyte that is glowy. And if we don't kill him right away, there's triumph for that also. They make the whole field of enemies way more powerful. They go up to a totem in the sky, turn the totem red. As Guardians, we lose all our abilities. Our super is gone, and then all extra ads come out, and then the ads become all more powerful, like a berserker mode. And so you want to kill that Death Tongue Chorister quickly.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of a cool mechanic.
Cool, but very annoying.
And then Sin runs up and doesn't notice the Death Tongue Chorister, and then that acolyte starts the totem going, and then Sin's like in the middle of like the craziness, and then he dies instantly.
Pretty much.
I
Hey,
forget
Ross.
what God of War called them, but God of War has a similar enemy. They do some weird chant that Doom also had one. I think that was a summoner. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, God of War definitely has that. I was doing that recently.
Of course, they're kind of annoying in God of War, considering they do this almost like throaty
Yeah,
chant
We're not-
thing.
Yeah, we're not really hearing any audio chant, but you see the stuff on the screen, and it's very obvious when the totem goes red. But they're also chunky, just a small looking acolyte, but takes many shots to take down.
Yeah. I feel like the amount of health that enemies have in these heists is like raid boss level almost.
Yeah, you were mentioning that too. Yep, the Cryptoliths, and then the Ziva Wrath's Cryptolith host challenges you. Death Tongue Chorister. Extraordinary amount of health. And once he spawns in, he'll move towards an Annihilator totem. If he reaches the totem, he will begin to channel Ziva Wrath's War Song. Once successfully channeled, the War Song will prevent you from using your melee grenade super abilities. Only killing the Death Tongue Chorister will stop the War Song's debuff. But also, it's more than that. Like when that happens too, like extra Shriekers in the sky will appear immediately, and I feel like extra ads will appear also. So it's kind of like brings like a, it's like the war cry. It's like, oh, here comes more enemies now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Anything else interesting in the TWAB, or is that pretty much it?
Like 90% of the TWAB. I mean, other than of course, I think they're gift for games or something like that. But most of the TWAB was essentially links to like, here's patch notes, here's like what's coming here or what's come, and this, that, and the other, and don't even have the TWAB anymore. Anyway, but yeah, it was very slim.
And formatted very differently also. And they even mentioned that on their content management side too. It's also formatted differently there in case the things that repost it have any issues. They kind of warned us in a tweet, but the patch notes area, known issues, it's not formatted as well as before. It's just a big list of numbers, 1 through 17. This is, yeah, they need to clean this up a little bit going forward, but the font looks a little smaller too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, is it a mistake or is it a clue? Wouldn't be the first time they've done funky things to that information.
There's some typos in there.
Bungie, what's going on? But there's the pictures of some people like it. I don't like it for the Warlock, but the Kato wants the Ubisoft Warlock armor.
Yeah, I'm a little salty about that.
Just make a Warlock.
No, thank you.
Just do it already.
I have a Warlock, but yeah.
With the new Arc Buddies.
Yeah, we should mention that because we were talking about that off air too. But right now, all the talk right now is about Warlock with Arc Souls, because of course we already knew they were getting buffed. But there are some pretty basic builds you can do where you can chain your Rift and some other stuff to always have Arc Buddies going. And they were showing even in Master Nightfall level with 2 other Guardians, 1 Warlock drops the Rift. Everyone gets Arc Buddies. And with the extra buffs, it was just melting everything.
Oh.
So Arc Buddies for fun. Arc Souls everywhere.
Just like everything else, do it while it lasts.
Yes, I know. Well, I was kind of Solar main last season, so yeah, I'm definitely chilling on Arc right now for Warlock. So if you see me in the game, see me dropping a Rift, be sure to walk through it to get your Arc Souls. Except for, I guess, when we go in a raid and we got to run a well. But we should play around with this some too in the raids, just in certain areas, and see how it works with 6 Guardians.
I mean, there's definitely going to be encounters where it's worth it. Because I mean, not to...
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Val, but like every other encounter is a boss encounter.
Yep.
I'd say it's better for like bosses too. They're closer, but yeah, Val. Yeah, right. So we have a well maybe, and then a Warlock with Arc Buddy, and then everyone run through that and just everywhere. Pew, 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 pew. All right. Let's do, before I forget, our
Review.
review on the podcast. Let me pull this up here. This is by Ron, I believe. By toward all thumbs. The classiest hub. Oh, 5 stars, by the way. We appreciate that. The classiest hub on the net. You guys to impress with your commitment to the community, helping others in game, and just being all around great people. Oh, thank you, man. We love you
Much
too.
love.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
And remember, we'll read all reviews, even if you give us a 1-star review.
Just
I mean,
don't.
Just
we
don't.
might heckle you if you give a 1-star review, but we'll read it.
Yeah.
But please don't.
Yeah. Looks like our average is 4.7. So I think we got. Did we get one lower review once? I'm trying to remember. Must have, if it's not a perfect 5.
I mean,
Had to have.
But in essence, it's looking good. And it's probably time to remind everyone too and give thanks for our Patreons. Let me go down the list here. We just have 1 level. We make it easy. If you want to join us, Guardians, you can join our Patreon. We have a link on our website and also in the Discord. Just $5 a month. You can help support us. If you want to, great. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. We love you. We promise. We're not expecting anyone to. It's just a nice thing if you want to. But let's see. We have... Where's the freaking Patreon? Oh, and you get a private Patreon channel too that you can join with certain perks, like you can change Sin's name to whatever you want.
Can I change
Just
mine
Sin.
back now out of something else?
Yes, you're still Sin the mailman.
Jesus.
Somebody else
I-
requested.
I thought I did that actually.
You did.
Okay. Yeah.
Whoa.
But shout outs to, well, now I forget because we have ambassadors in here too. Kato, you're one, right?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I didn't
Kato
want
was
to forget.
one.
I didn't want to forget.
I mean,
And
still is, but yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Monkey for sure. We got All Thumbs. We got Scoot, Cloud Nebula, by the way. Thanks for the question. Fiery Pink Yoda, Red Grackle, Lord Master Chaos, Merrick, Flublup, also known as Philip, or and no, we love you all.
All right. So yeah, we have American. I can't believe I missed this. But I have a name change incoming apparently.
Yes, I'm sorry we missed that. We were getting right on it.
Yep, getting right on it. Right. Oh God, as soon as I
God, it's seasonal
remember how
though.
to do things. It is, but well. I mean, people have turkey for Christmas too.
Yes, I don't know how. Don't blame it on yourself, Des. I should have noticed it. We all missed it.
For shame, all of you.
I blame Sin.
What?
I remember seeing it, but
Okay, so we can blame Kato. Gotcha.
Okay,
Just keep
blame
in mind
Kato.
that I can't change
There
Dez's
we go.
name, so even if I would have seen it, I can't do anything about it.
So you can remind us.
Oof.
Hey,
so yeah, a
we
little
need
late.
more. We need more people to join the Patreon, so you too can remind us to change names.
Yeah, definitely. If there's a name change, if this ever happens again, don't be afraid to ping me if you have a name for me. I have no problem taking any name, as I've pretty much shown so far. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do feel bad about missing that though. Oh well.
Rodimus and All Thumbs are giving us slack now in the live chat. I know. But hey, everyone who's a Patreon, you get double perks this next month for free.
Double the name changes, double the fun.
Yes.
Also, I
Just-
nearly speaking of name changes though, I nearly was a smart aleck for All Thumbs' name change. Who told me to switch back to base name
Mhm.
before Kingsley actually gave me my default name. I was
Yes.
about to call myself base name.
Okay.
But then Kingsley changed me. It's like, Oh, okay, that's fine.
Missed up.
That nearly happened.
Yeah, that would have been. You can still do that. We have a lot of ideas. We're gonna have to we might have to do the thing where we actually keep it only for a week so we can remember to do the next one. So, yep. See, that'd be a good one, he said. So let's
Right.
get some of those in the queue. Get some names for Sin and Kingsley also, and yeah, just give us flack in
hell.
that channel.
Yeah, that channel is for the patrons to be able to bug us. So
Yeah.
bug us.
Bug us. Yep. But
Bug
we
us to
really
do
do
things.
appreciate everyone who's joined that. Helps us pay for some of the extra bots, which gives some cool abilities, and just we're not making money off of this. It just is a little fun thing to give us enjoyment talking to you all, and occasionally some of that money, the very small amounts that are left over for contests and stuff, and it's just a fun time all around. And then I'm secretly putting some into a Bitcoin account, and I'll lose it all. No, I'm not.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Sin probably would have done Bitcoin. I could imagine. See,
I got Safe Moon.
I knew from day one that was all gimmicky stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean,
It was gimmicky until Bitcoin went up to like 60G, and a crap load of people made a ton of money.
No,
And then
not a
all of a
lot of
sudden-
people. You think a lot, but really it's a small minority compared to like. See, that's the thing. People hear the stories of the few people that make a lot of money, and then they think they can do it too.
I
by
mean,
that
yeah,
time,
it's
it's already too late.
Yeah.
it's like what was it, the .com bubble?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people made a lot of money, like in early internet, but it's not really a lot. It's just you hear about the success stories, but you don't hear about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the absolute number is kind of a lot number, but the percentage number is like the smallest thing in the world. And then everyone thinks they can do it. And then that's the worst time to do something. One of the best pieces of advice Warren Buffett ever gave is if everyone's doing something, that's when you probably shouldn't do it.
Right?
So, yep. I'm more just about stocks and mutual funds. Play the safe long game.
Sure.
Well, it works.
I mean, there seems to be every like it like there's things that work. It's just there's always like every generation. I feel like this just it's essentially a scam that just some people can work into their favor. Like I said, the whole .com bubble,
Yeah.
cryptocurrency in general.
Yep.
So
I still don't understand.
what I'm
I
getting out
don't
of
personally. Yeah, I don't personally understand the concept of how cryptocurrency is supposed to work. Is like, oh yeah, you just you like put money into it, but there's no like
Well,
printed currency or anything, and there's no standard. And it's like that's a
That's right.
recipe for disaster.
this, yeah, there's nothing that backs cryptocurrency, so it's like, I'm good.
It's like the issue with inflation now. We keep printing money with nothing to back it. So I mean, how is this supposed to be any better?
hey, and we have a black market in our live chat too. We have people trying to sell NFTs to other people. If you want to join our Guardian Hub black market, be sure to join our live chats, and you too can sell your cryptocurrency and NFTs to other people.
At the very least, NFTs have done some good, considering some people have used NFTs for charity efforts. So, not a lot, but there have been a few people that have at least one content creator I heard of that made an NFT, but purely to sell it and donate the money to charity.
All right.
So I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd be talking about this tonight.
Right? Economics
But-
101.
But Patreon, back to that. Just join if you want.
Yeah.
We love you if you do, and we love you if you don't.
Just don't pay in
Sometimes I feel
cryptocurrency.
like
Yeah, we don't have that ability through Patreon to take cryptocurrency. Can you buy it at onlysins.com? Maybe Sin will finally get on that and get some NFT
I have the
Bitcoin.
domain.
It doesn't mean shit yet.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Well, let's leave it at that. Unless there's anything else anyone wants to talk about, we can start wrapping up for tonight. Because we need to play the game some more.
I'm already playing the game.
I
Live
know.
update.
Live
What are you
update.
doing?
Mhm.
Days of Eternity.
That's what you're doing?
Yes, working on my Jotun Catalyst.
Oh, right on.
So I guess just wrap up and just quick reminder: what Disparity Pulse Rifle, Iclo Sniper Rifle, very good things to grab. Also, there's a new 3-round burst linear fusion rifle. It is stasis.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, we do want to get that.
It at least has Vorpal, so and it does have high impact reserves too. Nice. So yeah,
Say that
that's
again?
it has high impact reserves.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Frenzy, but that's in the same slot. But anyway, yeah. So it has good stuff.
Fire and Forget is the name of it.
Yes.
So, speaking of that, like they did mention there's going to be a DPS meta shift. I noticed the last 2 linear fusions we've gotten. Okay, 2 of the 3. The 2 we got last season, only one of those is actually a good DPS option. And then the one we get this season, it's really not a great DPS option. There's better.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad for something seasonable and potentially craftable.
Right. What are you guys' thoughts on what the next meta is going to be?
Your mom. Wait, what?
What?
Jesus.
Sorry.
It's going to be chaos, Kato. It's going to be well, I'm just thinking about raids only, of course. You talking about PvP? Or
No,
PvE?
no, just raids.
Yeah.
What's the
Okay.
next DPS meta going to be?
We're going to have a Tether, a Well, Arc Souls, someone doing Weekend Clear, and then all that together. Just kidding. We don't need Weekend Clear if you got a Tether, but because that's only 15% debuff. But yeah, hard to say what it's going to be.
I kind of hope linears do make a comeback. Maybe linears and MGs, because I know they said they're working on
What do you mean
MGs.
Linears.
I mean,
are
linears.
already being used.
Yeah,
I mean, they're being used, but it doesn't mean they're good.
No, for raids. They're all we use for the bosses these days. Last season, couple seasons.
Still that doesn't mean they are what they were, though.
Oh, so
no.
they get stronger. Gotcha.
I mean, potentially, but it doesn't also mean. I mean, things could be in line exactly with how they kind of want them right now with linears. It's just like I said, I only think they're more valuable now because everything else just kind of got the shaft.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy for a lot of the boss encounters where not everyone you want to or even can get super close to the boss. So
Are we going to see Whisper making a return?
oh yeah,
That would
more
be
sniper
interesting.
stuff.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yep.
Be a reason
Because
to
that
actually
hasn't.
grind the catalyst.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, there hasn't been ever since they changed Whisper, there hasn't been a reason to use Whisper.
Yeah.
Because remember, they buffed it where only two rounds come from the magazine, and the third round comes from thin air. For the 3 quick precision shots.
Did the Ikelos sniper from before have box breathing? Because I got one now with box breathing.
Yes. No.
Okay.
Maybe.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. Either way, you do want high impact reserves, especially with the tether, with the divinity cage.
Oh yeah.
4th time high impact reserve, divinity cage. You're in for a good time.
So last night when we hopped in King's Fall, we had a hunter that kind of wanted to and volunteered to do tether. So we were doing Divinity Tether together, and all the DPS encounters seemed about the same amount, no faster or slower to do with Divinity and Tether, which makes sense because that just brings that back up to the 30%.
Yeah. I will say though, also, I guess it only fits in this group of context, but back in Deepstone Crypt, the Iclo Sniper was actually what I was using for DPS predominantly on Tanix in the last phase, where a lot of people were using like Cloud Strike and crap.
Yeah.
So, or double shotguns.
Yeah,
so,
because that one can work well for snipers too. Yeah.
Yeah, it performs very good. Like, I mean, it wasn't the best. I didn't have the best numbers, but I was always very close to people. So it can do good. I swear. Don't doubt me on this recommendation.
Like, that's at 90. Where's the one I was thinking of? There's another sniper that I was using for a little bit. That
it might have been Adored.
No.
Considering it was triple tap Vorpal.
Well, that's always a good option.
But last night on Oryx, Tether wasn't working. I guess, I don't know if we already know that or if it's a bug or someone didn't hit it right, but the numbers were only about 89 on my linear fusion with Divinity. And then someone shot the Tether a little bit later and it was still 89. Where before I was getting about 103, something like that.
Yeah,
so
weird.
So Oryx is a little bit slower now, even though the other encounters were about the same.
Tether
That's
may
weird.
not be working properly on.
Feel like it worked fine on the other ones because War Priest, if anything, was the same or a little bit better. I could just tell, and Daughters seemed normal.
Yeah,
so,
but Oryx might be a different,
because
like a slightly. I mean, he's definitely like a different like model. So I mean,
yeah,
how he's I guess coded could potentially get in the way. I don't know because again, as I've said many times, I'm no developer, so I have no real insight.
It's all we noticed just with one run so far last night.
Yeah.
You know, can't say definitively yet, but
yeah,
it was interesting. Got to run it some more. We got to see. We'll know within a couple weeks, right? What the meta is.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Well, it's still easy, that's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I still think meta is going to be linear fusions. I mean,
probably still be that.
Yeah, until they do something else. I mean,
yeah, until they buff something ridiculously.
Yeah, they tried with grenade launchers and
Grenade launchers, I don't think will ever hit their heyday of what was it, Full Court with Crown of Sorrow. What was it?
I've tried a couple different things for like Rolk and Caretaker, but really it's still just linears, unfortunately.
I mean, that's fair. They could buff Lament, but
I mean, I miss using swords. Not gonna lie.
I mean that, and there's so few bosses that actually are swordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be nice if they did some kind of like Rolk. He's a perfect sword target. Like, let swords be good enough to handle Rolk.
Yep.
Well, have we tried with a group of like 5 or 6 sword on Rolk? We should.
Right now. Let's do it right now.
Right now. And tractor cannon. One person does tractor cannon also.
Yeah. I would like.
Sounds like Riven's foot.
I mean, at that point in time, you don't need to. You don't need to divinity because you know.
Yeah. Don't need divinity. We'll drop a well and Arc Souls just for kicks, but mostly it'll be
tractor cannon. Just run a tether.
Well, yeah,
I mean, that's true too.
Yeah, that's of course true, but in a way, the tractor cannon might be a little bit easier for someone to just keep that in mind. Hit it from time to time.
Rolk moves a lot.
And also, the tether would run out if it's not total damage phase, right?
Yeah,
Only the
yeah,
second
yeah.
tether.
So actually, a tractor cannon might be more beneficial.
Just because we can get up close.
How long is Rogue's damage phase though?
I feel like it's longer than a
Long.
tether. I don't know. That's what
Yeah,
I was
no,
getting
definitely.
at.
I mean, you got to remember they just changed how long tether lasts.
I
too.
know,
It's
but
12 seconds. That's
all I'm
Yeah,
saying
but
is
roll
like
feels
since he's
like at least
close,
30.
it's perfect for a tractor cannon. You know.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just pointing it out.
Well,
He
I got
wants
the
Tether
idea
to be
from
rock and
Rodimus. Rodimus wrote tractor cannon for the win.
Well,
I kind of forgot about it.
I'm curious.
Of course, to be fair, I may also like not be counting just Rogue's damage phase and just Rogue phase in general, which is definitely a very long time.
Hey, I mean, if it's a closer boss, it's worth considering. I mean, I like the idea of tether better too, but tractor cannon can be an interesting wild card for sure.
And that way you can golden gun them and then sword them
Mm-hmm.
or knife them, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're not doing lament, you do tractor cannon and then falling guillotine or something, and I don't know.
I don't know. The uppercut swords might be better as a
Yeah.
as a runner up to lament these days, because I don't think guillotine. I think they might have changed guillotine too much to not be quite as good. I don't think.
Trying to get whirlwind stacked up to 10 takes too long now.
Yeah, and the uppercut swords just have a quicker animation, so you can
Yeah.
go through and get the damage out just a lot faster.
We will report back once we know more. And we want to hear from you, of course. We love everyone in the live chat. And if you don't make the live show, which is most Thursdays around 9 Eastern, we also have a general questions for the show thread that you can post things in.
Always at the top.
Yeah, so let us know your comments and questions.
Just do it. Do it now.
Mhm. Do it now, because Sin needs to go. I can tell. He's anxious.
Oh, I'm playing quick play.
Yay. Well, Val the Disciple right after this, maybe. I don't know. But other than that, let's sign out. It was a pleasure talking to you tonight, as always. Kato, great ambassador of the Guardian Hub and several time guest and fill-in host, all of the above. People can just find you as what? God of Psi in the Discord?
Yeah, I do believe it is Kratos, God of Psi right now.
Excellent. Yep.
That's pretty easy.
Easiest way to find me.
Easiest way to find you. Mm-hmm.
All the size, all the time.
Mm-hmm. Des, where can people get a hold of you?
See, now you're saying get a hold of me, not just find me.
Where can people
Trying to
find you?
Trying to end the bit. But no, you can find me on Twitter at ds_Raven. You can get a hold of me, most likely in the Discords, though, where I still lurk. And despite not playing in a very long time, still very knowledgeable about this game. Sin.
Wait, and where can they hug you?
Oh.
What's your address?
Sin.
I was waiting for your answer.
Nah,
They can find-
even Sin didn't want to make the detour to hug me, okay?
Oh,
Hey, that was a long ass trip. Not gonna lie.
No, it was, and I actually told him, like, don't do it. Just don't. It's not worth it.
They can find me already finished with my Jotun Catalyst, or playing Quick Play, Crucible, or on Twitter at Sin_Media. Kingsley, not the only Kingslayer Mac. Take us out.
yes, you can find me as Kingsley Mac all the places. And you can find information about our show, which I will tell you all the details if you want to join our Patreon. If you want to join our Discord, please do so. If you want to find out how to subscribe to our podcast a different way, because you obviously are hearing us right now on the podcast, But everything about our show, please pass on to your friends so other people will listen also. You can find that information at our lovely website, theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Sin. Thank you, Des. Thank you, God of Psi. And we will catch you all again next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Later.
Okay, mine doesn't even sound like a sigh. Mine sounds like I was drinking a Coke or something.
Refreshing.
Refreshing.
Des Turkey.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Have to work
Speaking
on it
of-
a little bit.
Speaking of size, Rodimus, are you still here? Hold on, let me see if you can get in here too, so I can hear your response. So yeah, I couldn't hear your size like you mentioned. Also,
Oh, I was so annoyed.
On their
I was
podcast.
trying so hard.
well, your sound gate was too low or something
I don't know, but there was a setting somewhere it would not hit my size at all.
because you were trying to do a sigh on the podcast. Although there was one time you were kind of like a, and we heard that, but didn't hear a sigh.
They were talking about bounties.
Yeah. Yes.